Hello, I'm Ryan, or Freebs, go by a few names, sounds a weird start, doesn't it? My whole journey into this whole world of board games and tabletop really started with this.
Hero Quest. Deep inside another dimension, face battling barbarians and evil magic on a quest for adventure in a maze of monsters. This is Hero Quest, the fantasy adventure game where winning means mastering the arts of combat.
I'll use my broadsword.
And magic.
Fire of Wrath.
Once you get into it, you'll never be the same. Hero Quest. Now with 2 new adventure packs, the legend grows.
That's it, Hero Quest. It was about 19, I can't actually remember. I'm telling myself it was 89. Could have been around 89, 90. Don't think it was 91. I digress. Hero Quest was a Christmas present I got one year. I remember playing it with my dad and his brother one Christmas evening, and the whole world just opened up to me. Always been a fan of board games. I remember the family used to love playing the Labyrinth, and it used to really wind me up because it wasn't my favourite game in the world, but it always used to come out anytime anyone came over. Actually, I think it's just coming out on Kickstarter again soon. I won't be buying it just because I've had enough of that as a youth. Made my own board games quite a lot. Used to make little football ones, and I'll dig them out at some point. They're at my mum's. Little football board games and Formula 1 board games and things I was interested in general. Used to drawing and creating, and then really the whole, the world and the heavier level of the hobby didn't really come back into my life until the pandemic. And I don't mean the board game, I mean that thing. A lot more downtime, a lot more ways to investigate YouTube channels and see what people are into. And I think the key game that did that was Lost Ruins of Arnak. I'd seen some guys on Games Night playing it. And I just thought, I love the little bits, I love the whole theme of it, and so yeah, investigated it from there. So I'm going to do a channel here where I do some playthroughs at times, maybe do some reviews. Nothing, not going to reinvent the wheel. I mean, I've got a few games behind me, but I haven't got the old classic IKEA shelves of everyone. In fact, I've gone with some books, a little bit of culture there, and may play some random things. I've got a bit of the Berlin Wall up there. We've got an R2D2 Bop It. It's, just conversation pieces. So that's that. But I say they're the things we're going to do. To start off, I thought what better than to look at my collection. There's loads of expansions, but really I've taken sort of 100 games that I consider to be the main bit of my collection. Now, what I will say, it was nearly 100 because some of them, especially the 100 down in the list, you will see are quite clearly the games that I play with my 5-year-old. But they're in there. They've got numbered. They've got listed. They still go on the app every time that we play them. I think she's on 100% win rate at the minute, my 5-year-old, but losing's important. It teaches you stuff as well. The way that I've looked at these as well is I've given them a score, and the reasons I give high scores are often to do with how the theme and the feel are of the game. Because you could be playing a game which is so well and beautifully produced, but if you just feel something just a little wrong, you know that feeling that I'm talking about, where you sort of go, something's just not connecting with me. There's some of the games on my list here that I've owned and have left. So Spirit Island, I'm looking at you. I'm trying to think what else is some of the big ones I've had like that. Some games that have been like really, Everdell, for instance, people absolutely adore these games. I've had them, didn't get on with them, sold them. So it's an opinions game, this, guys. It's subjective, like music, which I used to do before, hence the rock and roll bit in the name. Subjectivity, I'm expecting there will be times when people say, you're wrong in the comments, or how dare you not say this about this, because everyone, of course, will be an 18th century duke from England speaking like that. But yeah, by all means, I say I'm doing this on feel, themes, the challenge of them. A lot of them are solo as well, because when I first got into this, my partner at the time was not interested whatsoever in the world of tabletop gaming or the hobby at all. So a lot of the games I bought had to have a really good solo element or Ultima element. The production as well, like I mentioned. But like I say, please put in the comments what you feel when one of them pops up and go, I love that game, or I don't believe you didn't like that one, but how about you try this one? Or, share things with us. It's really important. I want us to be a community and a hub where great conversation happens. But if you are going to be a full-on that's really wrong, make it as funny as you can, because at least, if you're going to try and bring down the kingdom, do it with a smile. So yeah, also, if you would, like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications as well, so you know when we're going to be doing more of these. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start with number 100 all the way down to 1. Probably going to be in a few parts this video, and let's go now. One quick thing. I don't know why I'm whispering. Maybe I'm trying to break the wall, I guess. I'm going, look, it's just us right now. Before I start the 100 countdown, I need to talk about the 6 games that are here, because listen, trust me, there's going to be some games you're going, what are they doing in there, right? We know we can't own all the games in the world. I'm sure you've all got your own hit lists of things you would love to still own. These are 6 games that I bought at one time or another and not got around to playing. So that's why they're not on the list. So just if at any point you go, why aren't you mentioning the crazy, fast-talking and fun-building Lego brick like this? Because I haven't played it yet. Why are you not mentioning the wonderful film game that involves being a cinema owner? Not a film cinema owner, you know what I mean? With loads of really made-up films based on what's called Popcorn. Because I haven't played it. Why haven't you spoken about Shackleton Base? Which I'm sure is how I'll always say it. Because I've not played it. Why haven't you talked about... Why can't you talk? You might say. I'm not even redoing that because I think that's just got to be real, right? Why haven't you spoken about Nucleum, basically? Because I haven't played it. Got a really nice inlay in that and everything with the the foldable inlays. Why haven't you spoke about the Serda's weather machine? Because the machine hasn't started yet. I'm never going to start. I mean, I'm sure if you've played the Serda games, you're like, there is a lot to learn. I ain't got around to that one yet. And finally, why haven't you spoken about Slay the Spire? Because I haven't played any of them yet. So they will be on the list at some point, I'm sure, if I do this in a year's time. But yeah, they're sort of noticed that they'll be missing. And some of the games you're going to see on this list, when I own Slay the Spire, and I'll be talking about, you'll be like, how the heck? But that's why. I hope that explains a bit. Play the trumpets. If you have a trumpet, it's time to start the countdown from 100. And starting at number 100 is Cartaventura. So Cartaventura is a game. I'm going to not so much review these, we give you an outline and then maybe a little bit why they're where they are. Why are they where they are? Because they are where they are. Cartaventura, I was in a cafe once, which was next to a Waterstones bookshop, and I had a bit of time on my hands. I was like, well, should I have a look at some games? I found this one first, about a little chap who's trying to make his way to Hollywood in the 1920s to meet Charlie Chaplin. He's funny, isn't he? And it kind of builds, it's a pretty simple thing. Look, get loads of cards like that, you have to keep them in order, and you play through the story, a bit like a choose your own adventure type thing. Builds out a big map. Oh, I think one point you get a gold tooth, and then later on you sell it to some tramp on a train. Classic fun. And then secondly, I bought a Vinland edition. So we all know about Vinland, don't we? 985 AD, Scandinavia. You're Leif Erikson, son of the illustrious Viking Erik the Red, and you're trying to do some Viking stuff. Fine. I've never played them since. That's why they're so low down. And some of the games that have beaten them, you're kind of like, wow. But yeah, that's number 100. And now to number 99. So number 99 is Myrtle. So Myrtle is based. He slides it up. It's based upon the really popular quiz type books. If you've never played Myrtle before, I'm going to describe this really badly. They're those kind of grid. I'll show you on the back. Try and zoom in on that. They're kind of like a grid, like that. I don't know how well that's focusing. They were always in the quiz books you give to your nan when she wasn't very well in hospital. That got like word searches in, and oh god, I hate word searches. What's the point? Where's the word umbrella? I found it, and it was diagonal. But in there used to be the ones actually quite light. So you'd have like names at the top, a bit like a Cluedo type thing, and where in maybe a town and the crop, and you had to say which farmer had sown what where from some clues. Myrtle was a load of books. Got them somewhere. I had a few of them, and the books were really, really popular. This is great, great viewing, isn't it? Me looking backwards, and the books made the game. Not great components. It's exactly what you'd expect for a £20 game. I've played it once against somebody else. It's 2 to 4 player game, whereas the number 101 Cartaventura was a 1-player game, I do believe. But yeah, this is actually, I've got that wrong. I've looked at it here. Cartaventura is 1 to 6. I cannot imagine playing that with 6 people. Away with you. But yeah, Myrtle, I played it, and it's okay. It's one of those I think you'd play with family, and you'd be longing to play something a bit heavier if you're into the heavier type games. But nothing particularly wrong with it. I'm sure it's done very, very well because the books are really, really popular. But for me, it's at number 99. And now we find ourselves at number 98. Yeah, that comes after 99, doesn't it? Yeah, 98. This is very much one of my... it's an old classic. Definitely an old classic. It was around when I was a kid. But this is one which is I bought for my daughter. So number 98 is Mousetrap. So yeah, the Mousetrap that we have here these days still has all the classic components in it. The box, you know, nice and big, and it's an idea for the game. It's still fairly basic. You kind of just hop around the board with your little mice. The mice are really well modelled actually. And then when you're just trying to get all the cheese, really, if you like cheese, it's a game for you. Quite like cheese myself. But the joy in it really is seeing, you know, my little girl's face when someone sets the trap off, or the ball rolls around, the boot kicks things, the boat jumps in the water, all that kind of stuff. And then when the net goes down at the end. But yeah, there you go. I mean, it's just, again, a lot of the joy of this game is seeing my little girl play it with me. So that's quite an easy one, really. Mousetrap. The next game is Bugs in the Kitchen, yet again. One of my kids' games, but this one's actually quite good fun. You are basically trying to get this bug that's one of those hex bots to try and land in your area, as it were. You roll a dice, you turn the cutlery that's built into the board. It's all really well done. It's a Ravensburger game, really well put together. And then it's frantic because you really have no idea where this bug's going. It's flying around everywhere. Everyone's rolling dice and turning the cutlery on the thing. And yeah, it's there are extra bits to it where you can try and unlock certain foods and things like that. But yeah, it seems like what Mousetrap would have been if it was made originally in the 2020s. So really interesting game in terms of the little one watching the bug going crazy. But that's it. I won't spend too long on these ones. But that's that's Bugs in the Kitchen. Okay, it's time for number 96. Get out your machete, your whip, your ropes. Could go anywhere that. We are now going to look at the Lost Expedition. So this game I had my eye on for quite a long time. I was like, you set out the cards, you go on it can have loads of different endings and stuff like that. I just didn't get on with it. I just found it really hard work. There's an expansion as well. Didn't go for it. I know people really think a lot about this game, and Osprey games are great. They make some really good stuff, but just for me, it's quite a short one. There's something to do with expeditions and going through stuff much further down the list, which is one of the most important games to me out of any I own. So yeah, not a really high one this really for me. The Lost Expedition in at 96. The next game is based upon one of my most cherished films as a kid, featuring one of my absolute heroes, David Bowie, and it is The Labyrinth, or the official name, Jim Henson's The Labyrinth, the board game. This was bought for me as a present by an ex-girlfriend, and I was like, oh, wicked, got some really cool miniatures in it, the board looks cool, and just... Again, not a huge fan of it, of how it played out. There are lots of expansions to this as well, with goblins and those horrible orange fiery things, I think, that dance in the woods. This film scared the hell out of me, seeing as a Dark Crystal as a kid. The game is just... there's one bit where you pull a card out, and if you can't sing one of the songs in it or whatever, you don't go through to the next bit. It's very much searching for a way into the labyrinth, and lots of it I quite like, but just not enough to bring it to the table when there's however many games ahead of this. So yeah, in at number 95 is Jim Henson's Labyrinth, the board game. Now we come to the 94th best game in my collection, and it's a bit of a classic again, similar to Mousetrap, which I don't remember actually owning Mousetrap as a kid, but this I definitely did own as a kid. The next game is Ghost Castle. Now, Ghost Castle was an absolute top favourite of mine as a kid. It's still somewhere in a cupboard at my mum's with all the falling bits, and you put the skull in the top and God knows what, and I just loved that game. Thought it was really cool. Nice diorama. So I saw this in a big toy shop a couple of months ago actually. It was really cheap. It was like 14-15 quid or something stupid. And I thought, do you know what? I think my little girl will like this. Little did I know, I'm going to do it like this. When you open this up, I'm going to have to move a load of stuff. But like in there, that is the board, and then you build the castle inside the box, and it builds up. Really well put together, and you've got like a ghost that drops the ball in at the top. I'm trying to see if I can find him. So it's got the ball ears up. Scary Bill. And you press his head, and the ball drops down and it falls down the stairs in whichever direction. Yes, there are parts of it where I think it doesn't always work, and there's the vibration of the structure makes an axe fall down somewhere it shouldn't do, whatever. But overall, for the price of it, for the joy again it brought to my little girl playing with me, it's great. It's better than Carta Ventura to me. So Ghost Castle. Okay, so the 93rd game is old. I bet no one's heard of this. And again, if you're tuning into this because you want to know about, what I think about really deep and, really brilliant games with loads of weight to them and depth, I'm about to bring in game number 93, Game of the Year. So a lot of you are going, what the heck is that? So it's made by Spears Games back in the day. I've got the box over here to show you. So it's classic. So my Auntie Sue used to own this. We used to play it when we went around hers all the time. In a nutshell, you're going around a board, which is like a calendar, and it's the first one to get to the end of the year. You get special things for hitting your birthday, for hitting special red letter days, and it just teaches you about, the thing on that says February the 14th. A day for lovers. If you're single, take a red letter day. If not, take a hazard, things like that. But the bit that used to drive me crazy as a kid was this. This is the only game I've ever seen this in, something like this. And it would only really work for a game about a calendar, I guess. It's the roll, it's how you roll. So rather than rolling a dice, you spin this. Look at it go, look at it go. And you can choose 13 or 8, as that one was, or 14 or 5. And it's got all different bits and bobs on it like that. It's a simple game. It's not gonna change lives if you do buy it, but if you do see it anywhere cheap enough, it's a good family game. I think it plays up to 6. Yeah, six different players can play. And that's Game of the Year, number 93. So, nearly through the first 10 of these. The next game is quite simply called Books of Time, in at number 92. Really like the sound of this. It was all like, you have to try and make, it's kind of a tableau building thing. You have to construct 3 great books, each with their own sets of specialist abilities that you can write. So you basically take pages and write them in. They've all got stuff to do with industry and famous people. The idea's nice. You've got this like really nice, like the main big book of time, and you take pages and put them in. You can do things on the pages, turn them back and forward. Do you know there's some themes where you're like going, am I really that interested in the cotton industry in the UK in 17 Baked Bean? And you're like, no, I'm not, but my God, it just gets me. I mean, this is really, it's history. I love history games. I love history in general. Just didn't vibe with me, as the kids would say. So yeah, I mean, this is one that I will be looking to trade, I think, fairly soon. Really only played it once. There's games as well that you play solo, and then other people, you're in your mind going, I'd love to play that with so-and-so, or I'd love to teach them this, I think we'd have a great time. I just think I would lose friends, maybe asking them to play this with me. But yeah, it's a lot higher than it probably needs to be, and there's lots of me thinking that maybe Ghost Castle is better. But yeah, there you go, in at number 92, Books of Time. So, we've reached number 91, and this is a game from way back in the day. Used to have this. I found this recently on Facebook Marketplace, and I picked it up for something like 12, 15 quid. It's one that me and my sister used to play as kids, and I think my little girl will get her head around this. I mean, she's just turned 5, but the ages are, it's 8 to adult, but I've got one of those 5-year-olds who's basically 16 as well, in terms of, the other day we had a thing where she had a doll, an Elsa doll, and she took all its clothes off, and my mum was like, she'll get cold, and she went, the cold never bothered her anyway. I was like, wow, we're in trouble. But this game is quite simply called Bewitched. So, the 91st best game I remember. I want you to remember this. These are just the games I own. These are not, if I had 700 games, I'm sure a lot of these would get knocked off to the side. But Bewitched is a Waddington's game from back in the day. And what I like is on the front, 2 of the finest red-headed children you've ever seen. Look at them. Look at them. In the middle of this witchy situation. You basically hop around the board as frogs. I am scared to death of frogs. I can't stand them. But with this, it's pretty cool. And you have to go and find a book underneath a witch's hat. Open this up a bit here as well and show you, because I have one in my hand. It can't be a classic pair of Waddington just red dice. Get these little witchy hats like this. Good afternoon. Because witches are known for saying that. Here's your frogs. Hideous. And then they have a book in the back when you find it, and you hop around, and you're trying to get it home to have a look inside. Did you find the prince? Did you find it? No, found a frog, so you stay as a frog. Really basic, but it's nostalgia. it's a nostalgia thing. You know, when you hear a song and you go, God, that takes me back. Bewitched. I mean, it smells like the past. You know, unboxing, which we'll do at some point that smells like 1980s. And I'll leave that up to you why that is. There you go, number 91, Bewitched. Right, the next game, got to keep rolling, is Hotel Tycoon. Now, I had this game as a kid. This is a modern version of it, and it used to just be called Hotel. For some reason, there's now a tycoon involved. It's very Monopoly-ish, going around the board, owning hotels, etc., etc. What I used to love about this game, and I still do like about this game, even though they've been slightly upgraded, is the bits inside. So whether you're, so I'm just organising some hotels here, guys. Whether you've got the ice hotel, I'm doing this really badly, like so, really badly showing you that one, or there's like a Asian style hotel. There's one that's like huts. You've got your classic skyscrapers as well, like that. There's a beachside one, all sorts of hotels in there. It's classic French style. I mean, it's a basic game. It's a lot less complicated than Monopoly, even though Monopoly is not really complicated. It's just like Monopoly with fancy bits. Monopoly plus upgrades, in a sense. Yeah, nice and simple, nice and clean. Happy little game, really. This is, who's on this one? This is, Asmodee redid this, but I think originally it was Waddington that I had. But anyway, there you go. Be a tycoon, a hotel tycoon. Right, time to sound the alarm. I did that in case I found an alarm sound. I hope I did. Otherwise, it's just drama. The number 89 game is Guy Project. Yep, I can hear screams. I can hear people who are, friends of Terra Mystica and all that going, how the heck is Guy Project 89? Just didn't get on with it. Simple. I know I keep saying that when I didn't, and you'll notice a massive difference once we get a little bit higher in this list of the love that I have for certain games. I like the idea. I like space games. I like the build of it. Just felt a bit hollow. And I know you could say that's a space thing, or it's lonely out in space, but I've got some games further up which are to do with space, and it's really didn't make me feel like that. So, yeah, that's it. I had the expansion. I sold that off because I thought, okay, I'll still keep away at the main game. But yeah, just didn't. I don't know if it's just the way that it plays when you're trying to do different things and trading off buildings and whatever you do. It's obviously a highly popular game, and it's one of those what I did at first question going, do I really like games if I don't like this one? Which is, I'll double check on my list here in front of me. I use BG Stats. If I look under there, yeah, this is currently ranked the 13th best game on Board Game Geek in the world and scores an 8.4, and I'm there trying to sell it. But that's the subjectivity I spoke about. So yeah, if this is one of your favourites, please let me know. Or if you played Terra Mystica before it, let me know as well in the comments. I'd be really keen to know. Not that it probably changed my opinion on it, because I've tried it a good few times now, but not everything sticks. Anyway, let's get on. That was number 89. There's something in the water. There's something coming this way. It's game 88. It's Jaws. So there was, when I started first buying quite a few games, there was quite a lot of these Ravensburger ones that were Jurassic Park. There was Back to the Future. There was E.T. I think that wasn't Ravensburger, but Jaws is one of the ones I went for. Early doors, and it was 2 to 4 players. I didn't have anyone to play with, so I was trying to find any solo thing for it. There is actually an app as well. It's pretty cool. The thing I really like about it, it's got 2 stages. So you start on the island first of all, and you're Brody and those guys running around, and someone's playing the shark, and they're popping up every now and eating people. And then it moves to the second phase, and however well you've done in that phase makes it easier or harder for you in the final phase, which is board the orca. The whole board flips to be the boat, and then the shark is chomping away bits of the boat. Never played it with 2 people, only played this solo version of it. It's right on the borderline of not being in the collection anymore, but because you need somebody who knows the film, probably enjoys that kind of thing. This artwork and everything is really cool. It's really, the fonts and everything are all from like the look really 70s. The cards are really cool, the artwork's really good. Yeah, it's just one of those, I don't know how many times it's going to get to the table, unless you have like a Jaws night. And hey, do you fancy a shark night? Come on round. But anyway, that's Jaws, and that is number 88. Away, 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 away. I mean, I've loved football since 1988, and I don't think I've ever really sung that song at a game. I can't repeat a lot of the songs that we sing. I support Nottingham Forest, that's my team. But the game that I've chosen it's going to be a bit confusing, in at 87 is 11. So yes, the football, it's kind of a club ownership game really, made by the same guys at Portal Games who made something that is much further down the list. Got all the expansions for this when I first got it, giving it a bit of a go. It's like scenario based where you're going through the lower leagues, building the team up. You got your veterans, you got your youngsters, your foreign players coming in, and internationals. I think it is, sorry, not for foreign players. International trophies. There's a lot to it. That's all, and it's just trying to get it all together. But yeah, overall, there's something. Again, a little bit hollow, I can't put my finger on, that doesn't fully flesh out every part of it for me. But in terms of anything to do with my favourite sport, is it the only game I've got? Yeah, it's the only game I've got. I mean, randomly, I'll try to see if it was near me here. But I'm doing this thing again where I start looking around on the floor for something that isn't really here. I'll find it later on when I'm least. Oh, there it is. So this isn't on the list really. I should have got it in. This thing called Formula One motor racing that I used to have as a kid, and there used to be one called Fireside Football, which was like a fancy football one as well. And that was another football one I had, but God knows where that is. But until now, number 87 is 11. Next up, it's quite easy to describe number 86 because we're off to see the Wizard. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, but it's his adventure book game. I made out like he's there churning them out in the Emerald City. The first one of these I got was for a different film, which comes up later on. Do I have a great affinity to Dorothy and these three geezers? Not really. But I quite like how adventure book games work. I quite like get your miniatures in there, and the board is quite literally a book. And you flip it open and go through each bit and try and get through. Never made it to the end yet. The witch has always got in on me. Dorothy's always been looking a bit drunk here. I was a bit leaning forward a bit. Yeah, and only ever played it on my own. This one, there's the box fart, first one of my channel. But yeah, it's if you know the film, I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through. I know there's that theory about if you play Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd with it, they're all meant to line up and stuff. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't really care for the guys. If I had to pick one of the three, have no brain, have no heart, or have no courage, I don't know, because being rusty can't be fun, can it? So anyway, I digress. Try not to do that as much as I can. Yep, it's in at 86 and it's better than Guy Project apparently. I can hear the comments being typed. But yeah, that's quite simply it really. It's a fun game if people know the film, and it's quite easy. You can save as well, so you go through the campaign and stop at any point you can save. So anyway, that's enough on that. That's the Wizard of Oz adventure book at 86. Okay, in at number 85, I've got 5 of this series, and this is the first one that appears in the list, so therefore I think it's the worst one of them. Worst is probably a bit harsh, but the game is Horrified World of Monsters. So yeah, the first Horrified was one of my gateway games to get me into the hobby more seriously, which I adore, and you'll see that much later on. But the World of Monsters came, I think it was 4th, and less monsters in it, and it's all meant to join up. From when they did the Greek one, you could actually join up the games, I do believe. In this one, you get Cthulhu, who you don't want to mess with at all, and he's got like 2 different stages you can play in and stuff like that. Again, the theme's all right, the board's always beautiful looking, the artwork's great. It's just something a bit thrown together with this one for me compared to the other ones. I'll go into the other ones in a bit more depth when I mention the American monsters, the Greek monsters, and Horrified, and the D&D edition. But yeah, for me, it's nice to have it as an edition, but I've never yet had the urge to go, I need Cthulhu to be in the middle of something else. So that's the last time I'm going to try and say Cthulhu. Anyway, that's Horrified World of Monsters in at 85. I'm now going to tell you about game 84. I'm quite a big bloke, I'm 6'3". This game is anything but big. It's Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs. So, we're going to have another alarm going off in a minute. I can hear it. But I used to have a game called Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, and I sold it. Didn't get on with it. But I also had Buttons and Bugs as well, and I took it on a flight to India once for going away with work, and I dropped a couple of the pieces, and the colleagues I was going with were in different parts of the plane. I remember saying to them, can you find a little elf thing there? I was trying to put it on my finger. That's one of the meeples. You can't see it. It's so tiny. I mean, it's beautifully done as a box. It's tiny. You've got a whole campaign in there. I have never played the main Gloomhaven, but played Jaws of the Lion. It's just again. I promise you there'll be more positivity going forward. Just didn't get on with the system really, with the cards and stuff. And maybe I think the reason I got rid of Jaws of the Lion but kept Buttons and Bugs is because I think this will have another chance at some point. I think it's one that I'll give it a go, and then probably end up going for the others as well. But in terms of a self-contained little pack with campaigns in there, tiny meeples, little, small sized dice, you've got little things here for your trackers, for your hit points and everything like that. It's really well packaged, all in a tiny little thing like that. And it probably deserves a bit more respect than chucking it in at 84, but that's where it is. Type away. It's just what it is. There's a lot of small games I like more. The next game on the list is called Cascadia. So Cascadia is at number 83. I've actually got both versions in here. I've got the expansion, which I forget the name of, but I'll put them all in one box. Again, am I crazy mad on the theme of it? But again, that's actually just a bit of a silly thing to say, because some of these games are much higher up. I've got no interest in the theme in a sense, but it's how they play. I'd heard a lot of good things about Cascadia. I'd heard how it was really chill. It's a really nice little puzzly type thing. The pieces are lovely, the production's lovely. These are all really good things. I say it's probably a bit insulting to have it as 83 when it's so, highly thought of. But you'll see when I get into the games, especially in the other videos I'm going to do from this for the next 3 sections of this. There's just some that I just have. They make my heart sing. They make me feel a different way. I care for bears and foxes and eagles and salmon and moose. Elk, moose. I like moose, but I also like moose. There you go. But yeah, it's a fun time. Played this 2-player, played it solo. Not a big fan. This will be the first time I mentioned this. Can't stand beat your own score, which isn't quite. It's got a campaign element to it, but that in terms of playing against the game felt slightly hollow to me. I will give it another go. There's a reason it's sticking around, but for now, it's in at 83. So the 82nd best game that I own is from a really good company that I love, De Vere, and it is Bitoku. So Bitoku, I didn't actually realise until I got this, and then some of the other games involved in the series make up like this story of how spirits and the natural world kind of get destroyed by industry, and they restart. I think sand is part of that as well. And I forget the others, but one of them is definitely further along in the list. It's stunning. I saw it for ages, picked it up in Waterstones, where I used to go see it all the time. I was like, whoa, look at this mighty game. A lot going on. Done lots of reviews on it to see what actually, I hadn't done reviews, but I've read a lot of reviews on it. The components are beautiful, the artwork's beautiful. This is the first one I've mentioned on the list where it takes a heck of a lot of setting up. And when it's playing in 1 player, I mean, the AI is great. It's just like, oh god, it's not quick to get to the table. Not that they always have to be. I mean, some of the games that are coming down the list, especially, are a big setup, but the payoff is more enjoyable, I believe. But yeah, it's loitered around the edges because of another game I'll mention later on that is kind of like a cousin to it in a sense, and fulfills this kind of story. I think it'd make a good double header on a game night. So it's sticking around a little bit, but yeah, lovely spirits in it, and I don't mean like that. And lovely artwork, and that essay is number 82. That is Bitoku. Now the game in at number 81 is 3 Ring Circus. So 3 Ring Circus equally is also by De Vere as well. I think these guys make great games. They're really good at putting a lot of stuff in a smaller box as well, which is quite nice at times. I kind of like this period. I like, quite interested in sort of the early 20th century. Trying to remember what century it was now. I was born in the 20th century. It's slightly problematic in some ways. I've seen a few negative reviews regarding the fact it is the old days of the circus and the way animals were treated and people. And you are facing against, I think it's Barnum in this, and he was a proper by all accounts to people. So yeah, so you really want to beat him in lots of ways. There's a game which I think is in my top 15, maybe top 20, where you're playing against like the absolute biggest whoever lived, and you really want to beat him. So that does add an element to it. The pieces are great. It's got a really interesting board where if you're playing with more or less people, you open up different parts of America. Yeah, I'd like to play this 2-player. I've only played it a couple of times solo. I'd be interested to see how it is multiplayer. But again, this one's on the peripherals of does it stay, does it go? But yeah, number 81 is Three Ring Circus. We are at number 80. So not many left in this this video. So I'm going to do this in 4 parts because it's a long way to go. But number 80 is a game that I may pronounce this wrong. I've never really had a reason to say it right or wrong to anyone, but I'm going to call it Arboria. And here it is. So Arboria was another one of those ones that was winking at me on the shelf for quite a while. Love the artwork on it. Again, you may notice a lot of my tendencies to buy a game is artwork. You can have a game which everyone pans. I was just like, oh god, look how beautiful it is. I then find out it's absolutely rubbish. But it looks busy. It's like an explosion in a paint factory. This board, loads of meeples, cute meeples. You basically, how do you describe this in a nutshell? I don't want to try and read it off the back because it'll sound even more confusing. But you've got workers and pilgrims, and you're trying to gather animals from different areas. We've got expansion in here as well for it, which is like a watery one. That's upside down. Yeah, I mean, 80 seems quite harsh in lots of ways because it's quite a long way out, but there's some real classics coming. Just whack my microphone. It will stay around. It's something that I'm sure, it'd be nice to play with multiple players actually, not just head to head, but yeah, there you go, number 80, Arboria. You get the idea, it's that one. So, we reach 79. And the 79th best game that I own, and it has a very specific reason why it's this far back, is The White Castle. Another De Vere game. The White Castle, again, look, I mean, this box is absolutely chock-a-block with stuff. Got a nice fish guy there, he's against me. Loads of dice, but my favourite thing in here, it's not in here. Bear with me, this is how you know that just reduced a bit the editing. I have the expansion called Matcha, and in here are the beautiful little bridges, which come in a few colours. I love the White Castle. I don't like how hard it is. I mean, I've only played it solo, and it's rock hard. I don't know if it's one of those that needs a slight tweak in terms of what the AI is or how the opponent plays against you, but they turn over these cards basically, which I might even have their cards there, and then they move along and they do various things in it. But maybe I need to up my game. Maybe it's not all their fault, but you have little warriors and stuff, and you have to move higher up in the regal castle in Japan. I can't actually remember. I can't look on the bottom of the box, see what year it is and all that for those history buffs out there. But yeah, loads of nice coloured dice, nice meeples, good quality stuff, as De Vere always seems to do. I really like it. I say it's only this far back because I'm either really crap at it or it's really rock hard. But anyway, there you go, number 79, The White Castle. Okay, we are now at game number 78, which in French is 78. I should be better at that. 78, maybe? Maybe someone French can confirm, or I can check with the AI. Anyway, number 78 is Tiny Epic Galaxies. So, the first arrival, an introduction to the Gameland phenomenon that is Tiny Epic. At one time or another, I've owned nearly all of them, I think. And then various reasons got rid of some of them, got some of them back. There will be, I think, 2 more arriving along in the list at some point. I don't know why I'm doing those hands. There'll be 2 more, if you like. This one, Tiny Epic Galaxies, is actually one of one of the most well-received and most popular. Basically, you take a little ship from your base, trying to fly out to these different planets, either landing on there, taking resources from there, and it's first one to hit a certain score. Again, only ever play this against the AI. Now, for those who don't know Tiny Epic, they always come in these little boxes like that. But do they? Because for this one, I think one of the other games as well, I can't remember which one, they did an ultra tiny Epic Galaxies. So you can take that anywhere, but you can really take this anywhere. And the dice are really, really tiny in there and much smaller. I think the reason, again, it looked like I'm sort of knocking on space after I did with the Gaia project, but just found it a bit light, really, I think. There is an expansion which is meant to be really, really good to this. Don't have it. Don't think I got to the level of love for it where I thought I needed to give it any more vitamins. That's what I see expansions as, but when you want to, pimp something out a bit more. So yeah, another Scott Alms game, Gamelin Games, Tiny Epic Galaxies, and with its little friend, Ultra Tiny, number 78. So, number 77, the penultimate game I'm going to do in this video, is by one of my favourite, companies who publish games, and that's Czech Games Edition, or known as CGE by a lot of people as well. And the game is Under Falling Skies. So Under Falling Skies is bloody heavy for the size of it. It's quite weighty. There's a lot of cardboard in here. It's basically Space Invaders in lots of ways. There's a mothership and these little to different various cities around the world. These little alien craft are coming down, and your job is to place your dice in certain positions, either make your base a little bit bigger, fire your guns, make the science track go up, and stop them from landing on Earth, basically, and just killing us all. Because, we all know, if any of you saw E.T., that's why, that's not nice. Again, anyone who likes E.T., that is not a nice thing. Long fingers, goes grey near a raccoon, near a river. It's not good. It's not good. It's up there with frogs of bad things. So, Under Falling Skies, there is a campaign in here which is all reveal more and more of it. I've not done any of that yet, so there's not a great lot I can show you from doing it this way, but I'll probably put an overlay video like I've done so far. Just tons and tons in there for such a small box. And with the CGE guys, that's not surprising to me, because you'll see some of their games later on, for sure. But anyway, that's number 77. That is Under Falling Skies. We made it. We've made it to number 76, which seems like a strange place to be aiming for. But when you start at 100, this is the 25th game, so I'll try and do it into four videos of 25. Yes, the 76th game, best game I own. Put your teeth back in. This game is definitely one that's much higher for a lot of other people. In fact, let me just check its rating. I like to have a little check. Let's just do games. Let's just do great. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Currently the 27th top game on BGG, and it is Great Western Trail 2nd edition. So again, interesting history with this one. So I had which one did I have first? I had the Argentina game, and then I got this one, and then I got the oh god, what's it called? Beyond the Rails, something like that. It's the one where you put the board on the top of this with all the train stuff. And then got New Zealand as well, and became a little bit crazy on it. Again, I've only ever played this solo, because when I had it, I was in that relationship where she wasn't interested in playing about, is this one horses or cows? I can't remember. Cow herding and selling in America. Enjoyed it plenty. I think the AI element is really, really cool. If you're playing against that, the bot. Just found, again, there's that feeling. It's a feel thing with me a lot of the time. And maybe some of these games I'm quite happy to concede. You play them solo, they're great, whatever they are. But it's that element of bringing other human other humans to play with you, which actually makes a really big difference versus playing against the game. Because, I think one of the big things about solo gaming is that it's a brain test. It's a puzzle a lot of the time. But sometimes people make such amazing bots, as it were, in it, that you really do feel like you're playing against a human player. But yeah, again, production's wonderful. part of this is the reason this game I moved on to get another game, which we're going to mention later on. Maybe set in the Caribbean, which I prefer a lot more for some reason. But yeah, it's here. It's right on the edge of being the last of these to go out of the house. It's like when you had a litter of puppies, it's like you lost the last one. But yeah, this is Great Western Trail, and it's the second edition, and it is at number 76. So there you go, that's the end of the first part of this run through my 100 games, so 100 best games that I own. Yeah, I appreciate there's some missing I've not played yet, but we'll get there, Weather Machine, I'm looking at you. The next part will be up soon. If you're watching this much later on, please check out the playlist of all of the parts of this video altogether. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you really want to know every time I'm popping up, hit the notification bell as well. Thanks for watching, and let's see where this goes. Thank you very much, and